Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today.
Hey guys, it's Professor Javon M.H. Presbury back with another episode of Hey Professor, the show where we talk about allied health, health administration, and health information management. All the things that you want to know. One of my students asked me to do a video on the top 5 pluses, the top 5 pros to being management, and the top 5 cons to being management. And again, this list can go on forever and ever. I can think of plenty of them. But I'm going to try to narrow it down to 5. So I'm going to try to make it a nice compact video with all the information that you need, right? So let's start with the good things, right? Being management, being in a leadership position respects, it commands a lot of respect. People see you and they generally know who you are more than you probably know who they are. And it's not that you're being, snooty, you're looking up your nose at them. It's just that, you deal with so many people in leadership, you're not gonna remember everybody. Like, oh, okay, hello. I didn't know that we've met before, but hello. You know what I mean? So you do get that added respect. That's very nice. Now, the downside of being management is that a lot of times you're really going to have to deal with things outside of your scope and outside of your job description. So if you're the kind of person who is very this is what I do and that's it, that's not what leadership is a lot of time. Leadership is, yes, on paper, your job is doing all those things that we ask you to do. But the reality is a lot of what you do is not going to be on paper. It's not going to be you just strictly doing your job. It's going to be little additional things that the organization is going to ask of you or that is going to require of you and that you probably should do. Just giving an example, I have literally had times where I'm trying to get something together for a computer for my staff and, IT couldn't bring it down, for me or do whatever. I had to hook it up myself. There was a time I carried an entire PC unit in a box from the off-site down to the main site. Why did I do that? Because I'm leadership and I got to get stuff done. I don't have time to wait around. You know what I mean? One of the pros of being leadership, more often than not, you're salaried. More often than not, you are salaried. And people are going to say, how is that good? There's good and bad. So I'll go over that on the other end, right? You're salaried. So that means that at any point in time that you come in, when you clock in, you're paid for the whole day. You know what I mean? You can literally, and it's not, listen, disclaimer, I'm not saying do this. I'm not saying to abuse the system. No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is that in theory, right? Let's say that my position is a traditional 9 to 5. I can walk in at 11:30. I'm still getting paid for the whole day. I can walk in at 11:30 and leave at 1:30. I'm still getting paid for the whole day. What if you go to work and then you decide that, and then you feel sick, you don't feel well, you're still going to get paid for the whole day. A person that is hourly cannot say that, right? They clock in and they clock out. And if they leave early, then they don't get paid for those hours that they weren't there. But that's not the case with leadership. I've had people come in and then they had an emergency and they got to go. Hey man, cool. Now go ahead. You got to do what you got to do. I've had people come in. You know what? I know I came in. Can I skip out early? Yeah. Hey man, it's whatever. Go ahead, do your thing. And you're going to get paid for the whole day. That's just how it is. That's how salaried jobs are. At least any salaried job I've ever had, right? Now, on the flip side of that, right? The negative of leadership, you are salaried. You're saying, how can it be both a good thing and a bad thing? Well, here's why. You don't get any overtime. Yes, traditionally, you're making more, depending on the organization, you're making more than a traditional worker. But even if you stay later, it doesn't result in additional money. And this kind of goes into the next thing. But basically, you're not going to get anything extra for doing extra. It's expected of you at that level. So is it extra? It can be considered extra, yes. It's extra in that it's not something that you would normally do, but it's not extra in that as leadership, you are expected to already do it. Does that make sense? I hope so. So moving on, pro number 2, as far as the benefits. No, I'm sorry. I think we're on number 3. Yeah. Pro number 3. for leadership. You can really take that experience and go somewhere else and be leadership there. Everything builds upon itself. If you were a supervisor, your next step could be a manager. If you were a manager, then your next step could be a director. You know what I mean? So you can really build upon that. Those are the benefits. Whereas when you're not management, you're not really able to kind of go up. You know what I mean? It's more lateral. Like you can be a biller. Now you're an analyst. Now you're this, now you're that, but it's all, sidestepping, right? It's not a leap upwards. Now, here's the thing though, as leadership, I'll go into this, right? This is all I'll say. When you're a non-leader, when you're non-management, when you clock out, that's the end of your day. You walk out the door and you're done. I don't got to worry about this place. Not my problem after 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. or whatever. Not my problem. I'm done. I'm going home. That's cool, right? Leadership, it's not the same. It depends on your level. Yes. It depends on the organization. Yes. It depends on a lot of different factors. Yeah. But 9 times out of 10, if you're in a position of leadership, you are still beholden to that leadership position when you're not physically there. What do I mean? If you're leaving work, let's say that you're management and you're leaving work and you're leaving at 5 and then something happens, some kind of emergency, and your boss says, I need you to go back and make sure everything's good. You should probably go back. I would highly recommend going back because that's what's expected of you. If you don't go back, they're going to look at you like, what are you doing? Like, you're the manager. You know what I mean? You are expected to go above and beyond. You don't have the ability to just turn it off when you leave. As Javon Presbury, I'm the HIM director when I'm physically there. I'm the HIM director when I'm not there. The most extreme case of that for me in my own life had been I was in South Carolina on vacation. And I got a call from New York from my staff that the basement was flooding. I had to create a response within 15 minutes. I had to kind of come up with a plan to displace the staff so that they were safe, coordinate efforts for cleanup and everything else from South Carolina. I'm talking about like states away, but I had to do it. You know why? Because I'm the director. When somebody is not management, they can just pick up and go. It's not my problem. That's not my problem. You know what I mean? Another good part about being management is that really there are a lot of little perks and benefits that you can get at an organization as management that you won't get elsewhere, right? So, and then there's the cons of that as well. And it's just like, yeah, but for those perks, again, you're going to be expected to put up with a lot. The hardest thing about management is not the work. It's the personalities. It really is, because grown-ups, no matter how grown, you'll find in a workplace when they're dealing with their leadership, a lot of people don't like to take direction. A lot of people don't like to do what they're told. So you may come into a situation where somebody just doesn't want to listen to you, or they're giving you a hard time. And depending on the organization, sometimes that's easy to rectify. Sometimes it's not. When people are traditional or non-management staff, then they don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? It's just lateral. It's like, oh, this guy's loud. I don't care. What difference does it make? You know what I mean? But as management, you gotta care. It's all on you. Everything that happens in that place reflects upon you. So those are the kind of things I think people should really think about before they go into leadership. It's great. I like it. One of the pros of leadership is creativity for me, right? So let's go over that. That's probably going to be my final point, because we're getting a little, long. It's like a 9-minute video. I don't really do 9-minute videos anymore, right? So creativity. I don't come in and do a set thing. I come in and do whatever I want. You know what I mean? And am I working? Yes, absolutely I'm working. But I'm working in a way that's more abstract than, say, a person coming in and folding a piece of paper or, whatever, right? When you're management, you have the ability, you have the creativity, you have the option to do whatever you want to do with your day. And as long as you're moving the needle in a positive way, you'll be fine. But when you're not leadership, you have a set, this is my task. I come in, do this, boom, 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 every day. So if you're the kind of person that wants a more structured type of day, maybe management isn't for you, because it's not going to be structured. There's not going to be an outline. It's just like, you got to do whatever you got to do to get the result that the organization wants. And that's really all there is to it. So again, guys, sorry, I know this is a little bit longer. Hey, Professor, another episode wrapping up. I'll be doing some other videos coming up. I'm trying to post me once or twice a week. I appreciate you guys for being here. So have a good night. All right, bye.
Intelligence is not enough. Intelligence plus character. That is the true goal of education.